Hey gamers, welcome back to the Pashcast, the only show that fights like a dairy farmer. I'm Pash Morano, editor-in-chief of Gamersyndrome.com, and you are listening to episode 4 of the Pashcast. Yesterday we talked about Zelda in all of its totally not dated glory, wondering when the Wii U version might be out, which looks to be never. Based on current speculation, I kind of tossed around the idea that maybe it might be in development for so long, it's just going to skip the Wii U. Though I wish to reinforce one of my points yesterday, which was echoing my friend Chris's sentiments on the matter, in that Zelda U has not been delayed, it has just not been dated. But as I pointed out, that is kind of just as bad. In any case, we're leaving Zelda behind us today. I thought I was going to do a part 2, a follow-up for more Zelda love. Sadly, not the case. And again, sorry to bum you Zelda fans out. Believe me, I'm just as bummed when I don't get enough Zelda in my life. But we shall return to the land of Hyrule and all things Link, Ganon, and Zelda. Today, we're kind of shifting gears a bit. Before I begin, I want to give a shout out to Pashcast listener Soma Says Meep. She left the first comment of any of the Pashcasts, so she technically gets to say first. And the comment that she left was brilliant. It was in response to episode 2, which was about, if any of you recall, the Castlevania Pachinko machine dubbed erotic violence. And Soma Says Meep merely commented with hashtag sexualvania, which I felt was a totally missed joke opportunity on my part. So good job to you, Soma Says Meep, for being more clever than me. And thanks for listening. And thank everyone else so far that's sticking along with me. I'm seeing some nice success from the Pashcast as far as viewers. And that's why I'm doing this. For you, the gamers. Because I like to talk about games and I like to make people laugh. So that's why the Pashcast does what it does. Let's all go home. Not really. There's actually plenty more of this episode left. So as I said, we're kind of shifting gears today. As much as I like talking about big games like Fallout and Zelda, everyone really talks about them. And even though I may have some insight or maybe funny on them, I think a lot of other people kind of want something different. Just in general, from games too, because we see the same AAA trash over and over again, or the same copy and paste stuff, which is why it's always fun to kind of dig deeper beneath the surface and the crust to see what lies down there. And here on Pashcast, I totally agree. I'm attempting to get real weird with it, Frank style. There he is. Just because I feel like there isn't enough of a celebration of weirdness and oddities and absurdities galore. Not enough people are willing to admit they want to fly their freak flag high. And I think everyone kind of does quietly. But I think it's the brave ones who do it loudly. And I totally get behind that decision. So I think in the future, Pashcast might try to cover some of the unsung freaks of the industry, and I use freak as a loving connotation in this regard, because I love the weird and I love all things odd. Which is why this Pashcast actually took a little longer to record today, because I was trying to find something that really popped to me, and I finally did. In a game that is going to be published by Devolver Digital. Any of you might know them for their other games that they've released with developers. They're known for Serious Sam, which is a crazy action, over-the-top first-person shooter absurdity. Always fun. But they've also done other projects as well. Really cool ones recently. Very, very odd ones like Hotline Miami. Ultra-violence at its finest. I wrote an article forever ago on Hotline Miami, kind of saying it was like a love child between Kubrick and like Tarantino, and then was adopted and raised by like David Lynch, because it's just so fucked up. This is also the company that published the game Hatful Boyfriend. And for any of you who are unaware of what that is, it is a dating sim with a twist. That is, you date pigeons. If that wasn't enough, when you actually get deeper into the game and you kind of do like you get through it once and you start to get a glimpse at what's actually going on. And I won't really spoil anything, but those pigeons they got one thing on their mind. That's right. Global domination. Yeah, I did actually just spoil that. Sorry, guys. But they've got a new game coming out. Or Devolver Digital is going to publish a new game. It's developed by, let's see here, Jay Tholen and a Jelly Corpse. I don't know if that's his company or if Jolly Corpse is just something he had in his room when he was making this. And anyways, the game is called Dropsy. And the trailer is pitch perfect. It's exactly what Pashcast needed. Dropsy is a game, point-and-click game. Hold on, don't click away. Let me make my point. It's dubbed as a hug venture. And if this didn't already sound kind of odd enough, and you've probably seen the images that I'm now putting up on the screen that are kind of giving you a clue of what this game's like. It follows a tarnished, infamous circus clown named Dropsy as he travels on a journey of self-discovery after a deadly circus fire shatters his world. So yeah, the game in its basic functionality is a point and click. I think the real thing to keep in mind here is that is just going to be a vehicle for the unsettling dark humor that this game is clearly poised itself to offer. The trailer itself is like a virtual reality fuckfest acid trip extravaganza, to put it lightly. The game definitely gives off, that kind of old school point and click, Leisure Suit Larry, Day of the Tentacle kind of craziness. So if you like that kind of humor, it's looking as if Dropsy's offering it. What's even more odd about this game is it's open world. So while point and click adventure games are, prided on their stories, it looks like Dropsy's going to have several. What's even weirder, and I am talking weirder than the screenshots I'm showing you right now, is there is actually no dialogue, really. There's obviously audio and whatnot, sound, but there's also no on-screen text. It's going to be kind of a visual clued narration, which I think is going to work in this game's favor. Because if this game were explicit by vocabulary or through words of what is conclusively going on, I think that this game would be in big trouble. I think the abstract nature of what's going on screen makes this even more disturbing, and perfectly so, because I think that if it were made clear what was happening, then the internet would be ablaze. Not necessarily the fun part of the internet, like the grumpy, angry, I don't want to have fun kind of internet. Just because some of the stuff in the trailer is madness. I love it. I mean, it is bizarre as hell, but it is madness. Dropsy himself, he's apparently, on a quest of self-discovery, so it's kind of a mystery. We know that he came from a circus fire that he was famous at. He may have set the fire. We don't know. Dropsy seems to have issues. One of the big features of the game, or joke features, is that you can hug total strangers. And it shows Dropsy getting weird with people. Oh, God. He can also talk to animals. So that's going to be relevant, I'm sure. In the trailer, as I mentioned again, I think the game's brilliance is going to definitely be in how suggestive it is without being overt. I mean, one of the scenes in the trailer, he frightens children. Hopefully that's a regular feature of this game. Like, that's a game mechanic. Like, point and click, open world, can frighten children. That is the kind of level of game mechanic I'm demanding from this game. But it does show him frightening a child, and Dropsy does look like kind of a fucked up dude. But I mean, he's hugging strangers, and that's already kind of weird, especially when you're a clown outside of the context of a circus. Especially if you're Dropsy. But, at one point he bends down. Not only does he hug a stranger, just a stranger's kid, but he gives her a kiss, and that's totally weird. I don't think any person on the face of the planet would see a clown kissing a random child and be like, what whimsy. So that's wow. There's a couple other weird things I saw, and I could just totally be, I don't know, being a little insane with my speculation. But, during the phase I actually just talked about where it said, like, hug strangers and Dropsy's getting handsy with, just random people, there's kind of a graphic for the hugs of strangers when it kind of transitions from the graphic itself to the on-screen action. And there's no way to beat around this bush, nor do I want to use a euphemism. I mean, it looks like a shot of jizz goes across the screen. So you've got that in the trailer. And then that's followed by him being consumed by what looks like the mouth of hell. Raging arsony, or so I assume. And horror beyond belief, at least visually speaking. So everything you really want in a trailer, and that's Dropsy. Between the clear homages to kind of the stylization of like stuff like Ren and Stimpy, and kind of like the drug trips that maybe like you'd see like with Puff the Magic Dragon, or that old 70s show, that other dragon with a whistle. I can never. HR, was that Puffin stuff? Yeah, Dropsy's doing some drugs. Dropsy's dropping, I think. So this game is just going to be one crazy ass Lynch-esque acid trip point and click hug venture with adult themes, and that is why I absolutely want to play it when it comes out September 10th. I mean, Devolver Digital, as I said, is known for some of the craziest shit out there. They published Hatful Boyfriends, a pigeon dating simulator. Hotline Miami is just rich in bloody content. There are other games like, they published like Bro Force and Serious Sam, obviously. Action-packed romps of awesome. But yeah, Dropsy, the clown. You can pre-order it through Steam and Good Old Games. You can find it on the web. I'll link it in the description. I absolutely suggest that you watch the trailer immediately after this Pashcast is over to get the full effect of Dropsy. I wish I could be having the music play in the background, but I have not been arsed to find out how to do that with editing yet. So you'll just have to go and enjoy it yourself. You won't be disappointed. And if you are, then I guess, you know where you stop listening to the Pashcast, because that's definitely going to be a regularity here. And that's it. We've definitely gone over 10 minutes today, but I think it was well worth the insane clown drama that will be Dropsy. I hope you enjoyed Pashcast episode 4. And I am planning on more interactivity with the show, possibly, some kind of competitions, questions, comments. You've got some weird news, some odd stuff. If you'd like to show off some really bizarre gaming feats, cosplay, stuff that you've done that's really strange, but in totally a cool way that celebrates video games, feel free to send it my way. Actually, I'll make an email. That'll be pashcast@gmail.com. If that changes, I'm totally going to edit to show the difference. But yeah, pashcast@gmail.com. Send your shit there, and we're going to have a lot of fun trying to make this as weird as possible in the best way imaginable. This has been Pash Morano, and this has been Pashcast episode 4. Thanks for coming by, guys. See you next time.